Good morning, it's Elaine with Elaine's Custom Cards. Thought we'd do something a little bit different today. We're going to make this card. It's using Bella and Friends stamp set for this image, and then the inside looks like this and has this little bird right here. And then I'm going to use Pretty Kitty. I'm going to use this sentiment, hope your birthday is just like you, and on the inside it says wonderful in every way. And then I'm also using, for this background on this piece of cardstock here, is this marbled, it's a one big stamp. Anyway, and then I'm going to be using this from the paper pumpkin, and then for the balloon I punched it out with the balloon punch, and it is from, I cut this up right here and I punched a balloon out of that. I thought it made a cute balloon. And then I have a little bit of baker's twine that's from one of my paper pumpkins, and then for these little things, it's this was from February's paper pumpkin, I believe. So let's get started on this card. It's pretty simple. I have everything cut out. If we have time, we'll do the other card. First thing we need to do is color our puppy. Get a piece of scratch paper. I can find one that's doesn't have anything on it, so it doesn't bleed through. Color our little puppy. And we're using, the puppy is light soft suede, the bird is light Bermuda Bay, and then for the bird's beak I used Daffodil Delight. So we'll do that first. So we'll color the eye and the little beak, and then the piece for the inside, I need to color that bird. Oh, I think I used also, this is Dark Poppy Parade for the heart. So we'll go ahead and color these as well. Pretty, I didn't do anything special for shading or anything like that, because I thought it was cute without worrying about doing some shading. So I just did a little bit of coloring. Colored the puppy's collar with Bermuda Bay. And sometimes I like to just keep it simple. This could be a card for anybody. On my video that I did, the cupcake with the shimmer glimmer white cardstock, I gave that to a friend that turned 48, and he really liked it. He thought, that cupcake looks good enough to eat. So you can pretty much, you don't have to just give these cards to children, because adults like them too. They think they're cute. And I have yet to come across anybody who does not like a good handmade card. And I don't buy cards anymore. I make them all. And I've always got plenty on hand for any birthdays coming up. And if it's one I have to send through the mail, I try to make sure whatever it is I'm sending through the mail is not too thick. If it's cards that I have a lot of dimension on, are the ones that I hand to people at my church. And or to family. But I pretty much I just enjoy this. It's kind of like somewhat of a pastime, but you know, it's a little business also. There, that's all the coloring. Pretty simple. So now let's go ahead and put this on the inside of the card. I opened a new bottle of glue because my glue was giving me fits. It was like, really? Didn't want to come out. I go through quite a bit of this glue because I like liquid glue. It's easier for me to center things if I use liquid glue. Let's zoom out a little bit. There, that's better. Okay, and then I have these pieces. I went ahead and this piece, just so you know, is 4 by 5 1/4 basic black. I'm going to glue it down first. I like cutting the center out of these. Number one, it makes the card way less. It's less bulky. And number two, you can use the inside pieces for other cards. And I use the rectangle stitched framelits to cut the centers out of these. And here's this is Daffodil Delight. And this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I used my Stamparatus and put the stamp, it's quite large, on the Stamparatus, inked it up real well, and then stamped. And if it's not as, if you missed a spot, like if it didn't, because it's a rubber stamp, it's a little hard to restamp if you don't get the whole thing stamped. So if you use your Stamparatus, then you can ink it up again and stamp again, and then it doesn't move. And then I put, this is Daffodil Delight. Let me tell you what things I use to cut these out. On my rectangle stitch framelits, for the black one, which is same size, the hole is the same size as this. I believe it's this, yeah, the second to the largest frame, and then this one is 4th. Get it out of there. It's that one, to cut that hole out. Those are the ones I used for this. You center that on there. I thought that looked blended real nice. And then this piece, I remember if I told you the size of this white piece is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 is that size. This one I used this, nope, the third from the largest, it looks like. This one right here, for that. And of course you can either cut your cardstock big so that you can use the frame for something else, or you can cut it to fit. And then I used Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of these. Like I said, these cards are very simple. I use this design a lot because it's a simple design and you can do a lot with it. And I have a lot of my card bases cut out already, these layers I keep in a, I have a tin that I don't remember where I got it, probably a secondhand store, that's perfect size for putting 6x6 stuff in, or smaller, and they're just in there, and whenever I need one I just pull one out, color I want. So I have a whole bunch of them cut up, and I put 2 dimensionals on the back of my little balloon. I thought that last paper pumpkin from March had a lot of neat things you could do with it. Put that on there, and then I took my little glue dots, because I'm going to put this little bow right here on the balloon, and then this card will be done, other than my those little things. Now I'm going to attempt to curl that over so it's not sticky when I put this on there. And put the little bow right there. That kind of sets it off. And I'll take my little, these look like just little teardrops. They were with the paper pumpkin that had the little cacti. And I didn't use them all up, so I thought, well, I'll just use them on this card. And there's that card. Very simple. Turned out really cute, I thought. So you have that card. The next one, I think I have time to do it, is this kitty. She's a pretty thing, and I used gems on this one, and this ribbon came from I think it was the holiday occasions catalog. I'm trying to use up some of my stuff, but this is the inside. So first thing we'll do is color our kitty, so she'll be done. And for her, I used these blends, some of the same ones. I colored her smoky slate, I believe, light smoky slate. Let me color her little collar. It's dark flirty flamingo. Little ribbon on her neck. And I colored her nose. I'm going to color it pink as well. And a little bit, it's kind of dark for inside her ear, but that's okay. Oh, and I colored some of the flower. No, I didn't color any of the flowers that color. So that's what I did with that. You could use a lighter color pink in there. It's one I just happen to have out. And then I colored, this is the dark poppy parade for the flowers. These go pretty quickly. And then I colored these little, you don't know what kind of flowers these are, but I colored them in dark daffodil delight. Okay. And then I colored the butterfly in light pool party, I think this is. Yes. Because I thought that this went well with this background right here. guess I used the dark Bermuda Bay for the leaves, because that will help it blend with the color of the colors I was using on this card. And then I kind of just went like this on the grass and stems, just to give it some character, so to speak. It's like that. Pretty simple. You could leave the kitty white, but I wanted her to be gray just because I didn't want her white. So I colored my kitty gray. And you can color your kitty any color you want. It's just what color I used. This is one that you could probably do some shading and just kind of do some shaded areas. I just decided, I'm going to color that a little bit. I wanted her to be a gray cat. So I just colored her gray. Just like so. Now if you think that her inside her ears is too dark, you could take the color lifter and lift a little bit of that color out. I don't like to do that too much because sometimes it kind of spreads, but that looks pretty good. So you could use the color lifter to lighten up the inside of her ear, or you could use a lighter pink. So she's done. So now we'll take our card. I already have my everything cut out. And for this card, I just used the Pretty Kitty, same stamp set I used on the other. And then I used on the inside this image and the hat, and Today We Celebrate You, and then the happy birthday on the front. And for this, I'm telling you, I used, let me show you I don't know what I did with the stamp set. No, here it is. It's called Dots, and it's a small image like this. And so I created this opening here, and I slipped this underneath the opening and stamped it several times because it leaves little lines. And so you can see that I just stamped it like that with my Stamparatus. And what I'm going to do, since you're not going to see all these lines, I'm going to cover them. That's why I put ribbon on this, in order to cover those lines where the stamp met. You can take that stamp set or that stamp and stamp squares and then cut labels out. I just thought it was a pretty, it looks like little starbursts. This is from the paper pumpkin. Let me tell you how big this is. The black, basic black, is 4 by 5 1/4. This is Flirty Flamingo. This piece of Whisper White that I stamped is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This is 5 1/8 by 2, and it's from the paper pumpkin from last month. Sorry. Okay. And we're just going to glue that right down to the center. Just like that. Now, I I wanted it to be flush. It looks like it's slightly bigger, but not too bad. So, not enough to worry about. And then I wanted my ribbon to cover that line that I could see. Let me put the lid on this first. Some things bother me. I mean, I could have gotten by without worrying about that, but I decided I wanted it covered. So let me find my glue dots. They're here somewhere. There they are. Okay, so we're going to put a glue dot behind this because I want it to stay put. So put that glue dot on there because you got to put the ribbon on before you glue it to the front of your card. So I want my ribbon right about there. And this ribbon is Poppy Parade, and I believe there's a Poppy Parade ribbon in the annual catalog, and I'll check for you for sure before this video's done. We'll take that off. And we're just going to put it around the card. Your bow should be pretty close to the center. Okay, then I put tape. Just keeps that in place because I don't want it to come off. Once you've done that, then you can glue this to the front of your card. I cut out, I stamped the kitty with Memento black ink, and then I cut her out with the layering oval dies, and this is from the same set. And we're just going to glue this oval to this one. And then these two pieces are from the paper pumpkin. This one I did in white. I used the back, but I decided I wanted the blue, the pale, whatever color that is. And I just put a little bit of glue on here. I said a little, but looks like a lot to me. So I glued this to that. I stamped it in Bermuda Bay, and then I just centered it on there. You don't have to use the cards in the paper pumpkin or do the cards. You can do whatever you want. I really enjoy trying to think up different things to do with the paper pumpkins. And I'm going to put there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and, I don't want this to wobble. Sometimes I use an awful lot of dimensionals, but I don't care. I have a lot. I like my card to be stable, because sometimes when things go through the mail, if you don't pay the extra postage, they run them through the machine and then it tweaks out your card. Bends it, and so sometimes, depending on how much dimension I put on the card, I'll pay the extra postage so that they hand stamp it and it won't go through the machine. Because with like a ribbon like that on there, I'm afraid it would get stuck. I know one time we were at Costco, got tires for the car, and we left it there, and I had a spare key for the car, so I told them, well, just lock the key in the car under the floor mat. And so we'll pick it up, you know, when we're done with whatever we're doing. So we went back over to pick it up, and of course, they forgot to leave the key. Well, I live over 50 miles from Costco, and I wasn't really interested in driving back there, so anyway, they mailed it, and it got lost in the mail. So I had to go buy another key. It was not nice. So we're going to put gems on here. I'm going to dress the card up a little bit. And then I'm going to glue this to the inside. And our second card will be done. And you have 2 birthday cards. And the dimension of this is the same as the one for this card. The same dimension on the inside. And that's the end. That's the card. The 2 cards for today. I hope you like them. Give me a thumbs up. I think tomorrow or the next video I'm going to try and do something with the time for tea. I haven't done anything with that one yet, so enjoy your day and thank you so much for watching.